I love ya. Welcome. Welcome to the power of you. Yes. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. This is Yeyefini Efunbolade on the power of you. We want to speak today of some beautiful, powerful, wonderful stuff that we have been doing. Let's stick me up on Instagram. For my Instagram peoples. Welcome everyone to the power of you with Yeyefini Efunbolade. Aboru aboye, someone is saying. Oboacho ashure iwori wofun. Welcome to the power of you. Put it over here. Have more light. Yes. So today we are speaking about God is trying to tell you something. God is trying to tell you something. You know that song? I think that was in The Color Purple. God is trying to tell you something. Yes. Sometimes we think that what it is that we want is being delayed or we're being ignored. And it's not like that. It is just that timing. And sometimes the blessing is coming and we run out of patience. So here, I wanted to talk to you about a story that comes up in Irete Meiji. Irete Meiji is a story that talks about a long time ago, a hunter consulted Ifa, went and got a reading, and the reading he said that I want to get a wife. And he wanted to know what was the way, how would he be able to get this wife? Ifa said, you must do rituals. And Ifa told him all of the things to bring: bags of money, birds, cloth, buckets of liquor, of palm oil, and all of that good stuff. So he brought the rituals because he had experience before as a hunter. Before he went out hunting, he always would do rituals. So this is the time he says, yes. Ifa said, there's a wife coming to you. And he says, yes, I would love for that, because that would mean that we'll have more wealth. I have more people on my compound, that I will be able to amass my wealth and things that I'm doing. So he went ahead, did the rituals. So on his way home, he met a lady, and she says, oh, I am a seller of all types of goods. I'm a market lady, and I heard that you were one of the most successful hunters in the area. I would love to buy your the meat that you have. I want to buy all of it because I go from town to town and I sell, and I'm very successful. He says, oh, okay, if you want to buy all of it, that's fine. And they disputed. They talked about the different prices. You know how you have to haggle in the markets, that nothing has a set price until you just work the spirit of it. And so in the process of them working, she bought the products and she was going home, and all of a sudden, boom, an energy came over him that he could not control himself or resist himself or understand himself. And so in that understanding himself and not understanding himself, this energy came over him and he became mesmerized. He says, I want you to be my wife. She says, oh, okay. She said, well, for you to be my husband, the rule would be for you to live at my house. And he said, okay, I will do that. Because, she had mesmerized him and put her little powders of incantation and making her feel that she had all of the power, and letting her, she knew that she had all the power. So he said, okay. So He went over to, he says, let me let you know where, where, no, no, she said, okay. So she said he was going with her. He says, oh, I have to get my bow and arrow. She said, you don't need to get your bow and arrow to go to my house for the first time. What, are you trying to hunt somebody? And he said, oh, okay. So he said, well, let me take my knife just in case. And she says, you don't need a knife. What, are you trying to stab somebody when you get over there? And the hunter said, okay. Since it's the first time, I'm just going to see you where you live, your compound and that. So where you live in the woods. And so he said, I think I need to go in my house and get me a charm that I use to protect myself when I'm hunting. She says, you don't need any charm. You just come into my house for the first time to just see how is it that I live. So on his way out, one of his wives were coming from the market because they live, no, it was coming from the woods. They were been gathering palm oil. And so they came, and the head wife said, where are you going dressed so nicely? Because he was all dressed in his agbada and everything to go and meet this woman's family. And he said, I am going to meet my wife's new family, my new wife's house. And his wife says, well, aren't you taking your arrow and your bow and arrow? He said, no, I don't need it. She says, as a hunter, I think you may need to get that. And she said, and while you're at it, get your knife as well as get your protections, because you don't know what you might encounter in the woods as you go. So he said, okay. So he went into the house to get while he was talking to the wife, he hid all of the instruments. He hid it in his big agbada where the other lady that was waiting outside couldn't see him. So he went on to the house. Went on with the lady, and they're going and they're talking, and she's persuading him, and he's feeling so, ooh, this is a new wife I'm going to get, new adventures, new teasing, new things. And just as he gets to where she is, he sees these trees, these huge trees, and they start bowing to her. And they say, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And she was so humble to them. She says, yes, thank you very much for the greeting. So he got afraid, and he was like, this is weird. This is strange, and this is not the way that I thought. Well, then all of the trees came down, and they blocked the path for him to leave. He says, I got to get out of here, because this is not what I expected. I thought we were going to come, and we were going to, really connect our marriage and all of this good stuff. And as the trees started falling, he said, I got to run. I got to get out of here. And the weapons and that was no use to him. So he just kept running. He threw one of the powders on the ground. The smoke came, and he ran and got up to the top of the tree, and he started calling his dogs. Because that was one of the explanations also that she told him, that you don't need to take your dogs with you. That was one of the parts that I missed. And so he started calling his dogs, and his dogs came, and they called because he got to the tallest tree, and he started calling his dogs. His dogs came, ran, and frightened all of the trees, and the woman and everything dispersed, and he was able to run back home. When he went back home, the first thing he did, he went to the babalawo to get a reader to find out what the heck was that. I thought I was going to get a wife, and I ended up getting something that was not of this earth. And the babalawo told him, he says, well, you were going to get a wife, but the reason that you were able to escape the thing that was an entrapment for you is because you did rituals before. You did your rituals, you did your ebo, and that's how you were saved. So I wanted to just share that story because God is trying to tell you something Right now, what's happening in the world with the the process of the government and the universal challenges that's going on in financial world, and things that used to be are no longer the same, because this is a number 9 year. The number 9 year is giving us an opportunity for us to look at and be still. The name of this is also the year of the Chinese astrology of the snake. The snake does not attack an animal. The snake studies an animal that he wants to eat, that he wants to feast off of. He does not run and start trying, because there are elephants, there are jaguars, all of them are 15,000 sizes bigger than he is. So what he does is he slides and he studies. And the way that a snake knows that you're in the area is he feels the heat of your body and the heaviness of your feet on the ground. He feels the vibration, the thump. He says, oh, there's someone coming, or there's an animal coming that I'm going to be able to eat. And he feels the warmth, how close you are. So the year of the snake is for you to go within and be that snake and be that easy that guides you to exactly what it is that you're going after. The things that are happening to us in the world, the frequency of the world is showing up this year with challenges. The global political shifts in the world of this number 9 is causing us to make major changes. So we need to show up as a way of recognizing the power that we have. And just as in the story, the evilness, the thing that was out there that masks itself as one thing and is something else, that's exactly what's happening around us globally. There are grants, there are programs, there are things that have been the way of life and has been something that we've learned to depend on. And there's a way of life. Some of the things need to change, true, but some of the things, the major changes that are happening, there are no programs in place for the fallout of it. So that's like the entrapment of saying that this is how we're going to rule, this is how we're going to move in a democracy. And then we have dogma that's saying, as of today, I'm signing something and it's going to stop. So it's that you have to be very mindful of the spirit that could overcome and overtake you, of believing that it has more power than you. And so that was what I wanted to connect us to, is that the frequency that we have is like the snake. So the story of Yeyefini warns us against metaphysical negative energy, malicious spirits. Malicious spirits. So God is trying to tell us something. When by design, our ancestors, Orisa, God's source, is preparing us for a blessing, there may be a time that it seems like it's a delay, a setback, a silence. Don't think that your prayers have not been heard or seen. Don't lose focus on what it is that you want, or the blessings that you want to come. If you were waiting for something, planning for something, set everything in place and it's not coming, be like the snake and just wait and feel the vibration. Look at what's happening. Listen, go within. Sometimes the miracle comes through the stillness of your heart, the sitting in the field of gratitude and blessing. It's always there. At times, sometimes I feel like I'm frustrated or challenged because I feel like God needs to be reminded about a request that I had or a prayer that I had. I remember in that my daily affirmations that I say is I always pray for the spirit of the power of discernment, that I'll be able to understand what's going on. Because as a human being, as a planner, as a person that has a business and has people who I'm responsible for, and I'm responsible for, and they're responsible to me, I'm thinking ahead of how can I think bigger? How could I provide more services? And so in that planning, you can lose yourself and feel like, oh, it should happen right now. I'm reminded that every morning I ask for the power of understanding, discernment, picking out what it is that God is saying. It's always seen as if it sometimes seems as if it's not coming, but as soon as I call in the spirit of discernment, within 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, I figure it out. I said, oh, that's why it's not coming yet. Because something always happens. And through, I always ask myself, why is this happening to me? Or for, I mean, not to me, but why is this happening through me? Why is this happening through me? That the frustrations that I'm having, I had some challenges last week and just waiting for the people to come and finish putting the toilet in the temple. And it was one thing after another, after another, after another. I'm like, is this going to happen? I mean, I prayed about it. I did the services. I knew it was coming, but I don't ask for the patience, because patience is something that you choose. I ask for discernment that I can figure it out. And when I say, why is this happening through me and for me? It's like the bomb just shifting my perspective on how the blessing is going to come. So sometimes Spirit is busy organizing the other end of your request. When a reading or spiritual counsel is given to you, and it says to offer items, pray and throw your obi, that act unleashes the power to not only hear your request, but to instantly go to the action or the place where you're supposed to receive what you're supposed to receive. So when you throw your obi and you do your rituals as the hunter did, or like I do, or like you do, when you get a reading and it says this is what you get, a consultation or it says this is what you need to do, then you do it and just leave it. And know that you have not been forgotten, because the vibrancy and the frequency is gone to exactly not only what it is that you asked for, but where it is that you need to go for it to connect. It instantly goes into action onto receiving the end where the request goes. There are no coincidences in life. Coincidences are frequency that someone else set an intention for you to be at the same place at the same time in your energy field, and vice versa. You ask for something, the energy field goes, picks it up, brings it to you. So there's no coincidences that you ran into. So there's always the Spirit, the universe, God, source is always waiting and working with you. Your job is to discern, why is it happening right now? Or why is I being so impatient? And why am I having challenges with trusting that Spirit got it? So when that energy field grasps, the Spirit, God, is trying to tell you something. The global power shifts of the number 9 world, a number 9 year, is just letting us to continue to show up and recognize what are the things that are the snakes. What are the things, I mean, how is it that you can be a snake? What are the things that you are able to go and get, to eat, to feed yourself, feed your mind? What things can you shift about what's going on? What can you tell yourself to shift the belief that we are under attack and that we're not, and all of the programs we're going to fail? No, that's not how it works. When the power that we have within to shift the vibration and the frequency that's outside of us lives within us and is waiting for us. Show and ask how you're going to react, how you're going to show up, how you're going to read into whatever is happening. Be still and know. So the frequency of the world is showing up for you and showing up for us to know that all of this is going to be a great time. Just as when we had the universal timeout, we couldn't walk 6 feet behind each other and all of that. It helped us to stay home and start our own businesses. People started working from home. It came out to be the best thing that happened to us. So this too, God is trying to tell us something. And the something is that it's present, and your role now is to be like the snake and the number 9 and know, I'm going to change the way I'm moving. And when the snake is ready to become something else, it changes its skin and it moves on to the new awakening of who it is. And it's just by the frequency it is what it survived. And it knows when to take its skins off. No one says it's time to take it off. Automatically known. So shift the frequency of our bodies by getting still, going within. And just like the hunter, do your rituals. Get your New Year readings, get your consultations, get your astrology, your numerology, anything that you could use to allow you to know how the frequency of the universe, and you are going to align so that you will be able to take home those things that you need to feed yourself, to change your world, to be successful in your business, to start new business, to collaborate with other business so that you can go out and grab your success. And so this, the one of the things that we are so involved in right now is next Friday. I had it over here. Where did it go? Next Saturday. We are having our ritual. We did the webinar. Some of you were part of the webinar that we had on Zoom 3 weeks ago, and we came up because it was about the safety in the diaspora. It was how is it that we were going to be able to go through and live through this challenge that we were facing with the political arena. And so Spirit had it, and we made a webinar, and some of you were part of the webinar. If you did not go to the webinar on how to be in different faiths, how to embrace the faiths that you are without feeling that you have to abandon it. And the major thing and the focus and the elephant in the room was, of course, for us to know that our ancestors are with us. In all things, our ancestors are with us. It was the faith and culture series. And so this week on Saturday, we are having, and I'm going to give the ritual so that everyone can be involved in it. And so April the 26th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for those of you who were part of the webinar, we have sent you the link to join us. And if you want to join us, the link is also at my Linktree, LinkedIn. Linktree. Yes, in the Linktree, so that you can sign up and you'll be able to be a part of the conversation and a part of the ritual, because our expectation and hope and desire is for us to listen to the reading that was done when we wanted to do something to shift as a community. How could we shift the energy of fear? How could we shift the energy of our young people feeling frustrated and unheard and not respected and getting restless, and during the summer where that's usually the time where the system finds a way of creating an atmosphere of tension, and then we have people who are going to react to that tension and have chaos. And so that was the reason that we had this webinar, is because my spirit felt that we should do something to do rituals for the safety of us in the diaspora. And so the reading, we're talking about the importance of knowing, don't take any sides, just do what is necessary for you spiritually. And so for those of you who perhaps are not going to be able to join us, the ritual was to make an altar. If you have a shoe, you can put it in front of a shoe, or make an altar to Shongo. And it requires to have 6 bowls of amala. And in Lukumi, we have amala, and you have amala that's different, that is made in traditional Yoruba land. You could go on YouTube if you want to learn how to do the amala with Yoruba style. The amala that is easy for Shongo is you boil 6 or 12 okra. You cut them up, you put them in boiling water, you boil it with salt and pepper. And once the okras are nice and soft, you're going to mix some cornmeal, some yellow cornmeal with water. Okay, and then you're going to put it in the hot boiling water, and you're going to stir. keep stirring and praying, and the things that you're praying for you, that we're praying for our community, for safety, for us to think together despite of what religious beliefs we have. We're making offerings to Shango. We're making offerings and we're invoking our ancestors for us to be safe this year. And as you're stirring one direction, you ask for that prayer for your community, for your family, for your neighborhood, for your block, for your business, and then you turn it again the next direction. You start pouring in some palm oil, and you're mixing slowly, and you're mixing slowly, and you're pouring, and you're asking for prayer. And so you're going to have that when it's bubbled and it's done, you're going to put them in 6 bowls. And we're coming together on Zoom, and we will be in front of Shango, and I'm going to invoke Shango, and we're going to dance and sing to Shango as we feed this. So we're going to have Shango, the ritual asks for 6 small bowls of amala, a red, black, and green flag around your dish or around your bowl, 7 small bottles of wine. So you can get those little small ones that they sell at the little liquor stores. Small bottles of wine, a dish of honey, a dish of molasses. Oops, I'm giving you 2 rituals. Oh, yes. And we can make a raft for those of you who live close to the water. You can take this and put it on a raft for the ancestors. And if not, you can take this offering and put them in front of your ancestors, right? And you're going to then take it to the universe. Leave it at the foot of a tree. If we have a palm tree, you can do that. Put it at the tree and invoke the spirit of the universe of those of us in the diaspora. So I'm reading this, the eyeball. And then we can also have a Shango bath, which is made with okra, the same way that you were making the okra bath, but you don't put it in hot water, and you cut up some okra, mix it with water, and pray that the tears that you would shed, that the potentiality for tears that you would have shed will be released when you take this bath. And when it's nice and squishy and you can see the slime, then you strain it off, you add more water, and you put Efun. I hope someone is typing this in, or I could put it back in the chat. And you're going to take that and you're going to bathe with that. So on the day that we're having this, you can take the bath on that day and come together with us with the 6 bowls of amala with red, black, and green flags around the dish, big bowls. And if you're interested in being with us on Zoom, then we would ask you to then go on my Linktree and join us, and you will get the information on how to take this into your community, expand it to your community. Because if we connect, when we connect as a group to do things together, the power and the frequency goes in, and all of the things that are being taken away from us by just the signature of a piece of paper, that will then change the frequency as to what it is that we are going to receive from that action. So we are doing that to create the energy of success. We're not panicking. Someone is asking, do we have to do all of these? You can do as much as you can. If you have a Legba shrine, or do you have your ancestor shrine, you are going to be able to ask your ancestors, or you can make a shrine in front of an altar where you put red candles to Shango. the six bowls, because the magic is in the six bowls that we're feeding the spirit of the universe to send the frequency of the king, the frequency of us being in a dominant culture, the frequency for us in the diaspora to not lose our way, to not begin, not to not believe that we are not worthy, that we don't have what it takes. And because the reading said, it's talking about many changes that will be happening to the collective. Many things will be in transition and transformation. This is the right ground to be and support of our ancestors, using the energy of Oya, who is leading this Odu. If we don't learn how to live here, we will learn how to live in the next life. The rituals and Ebo from this reading will be very important for the collective and also the individual. For the individuals, this will cause the required transformation for that person. The collective must will learn to stay together and make sure that we take care of ourselves in order to facilitate the rituals. This will bring a lot of luck, a lot of success, a lot of frequency. This is where Elegba was saved from death. And it says, extend your hand as far as it will reach. And the Odu that was speaking in it spoke to that. So I just wanted to share that with you, to join us on Saturday, the 27th, the 26th, April 26th at 3 o'clock on Zoom or in your own homes. We would love for us to share in communities, in your mosque, in your church, in your homes. Very, very, very important for us. And the Odu is also speaking that it's important for us to play the drums so that the ancestors will hear us and the ancestral spirit will vibrate in our spirit and make that connection. So that was what we wanted to share with you today in the power of you. You have the power to change the frequency of the universe. Just as the Ode, the hunter, had the power to change the outcome of his life by doing his rituals when he went to find his wife, and then he came back for the confirmation that the work was done. Because he could have said, oh my God, I did the rituals and nothing happened, and I met this woman that I fell in love with and enamored me, and it was something of another world. So let's not allow the Odu of Irete Meiji that says, malicious is a warning against malicious spirits. And so there are malicious spirits that are contriving and trying to move in a way by the signatures of papers and the actions of some. We are not victims. We have the power, we have the rituals. So on this day, go out there, know that you have the power to change the frequency in the world, in your home, and for yourself. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. And remember the power of you. Go to yeyefini.com or look at my link tree, linktr.ee/Ask Yeyefini. Go on Instagram, Facebook, and all of those nice, wonderful platforms. Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And wonderful power of you. You got the power. And coming together is the way that we're going to dismiss the concept or the idea that someone, by the strike of a pen, our destinies are going to be unavailable. Baby, we've been here before. Have a blessed day.